Wow, I'm actually impressed with myself. Generic intro in the Duck Goesmoo here, back with another film theory, and today we're doing an older one which is based on Hazbin Hotel now that season 1 is out, or I'm not sure if it's completely out or not. I've seen episode 1 and episode 2. You can check out my reaction to episode 1, which I react to with Kirby, who I bring on the channel for these videos. I'll leave our reaction to that right up there. Also, the link down below in the description. Also, a playlist on my channel with all of our other Hazbin Hotel and Helva Boss reactions going in chronological order. That video is actually demonetized now, which we absolutely love that, but patrons get those videos day early. We've recorded episode 2 by the time you're watching this video. Hopefully we will have recorded episode 3 and possibly episode 4, but you know, I have to deal with copyright and a whole lot of intensive editing as well with that. So hopefully episode 2 is out by the time this video is going live. If not, it'll be out in the very, very near future, hopefully. Shout out to the patrons, and they get the videos day early. A lot of time on my channel. I do a lot of videos, so it's hard to fit another series into everything I'm doing. Also, Kirby works 2 jobs right now, so it's really hard to record videos with her as well as doing the weekly videos that we already do. But hopefully we'll get through Hazbin Hotel. I loved episode 2. It was so good, and I know the rest of the season is going to be incredible based off the things I've heard. I'm ignoring everything else on the screen right now. I do read all your comments. Leave some down below. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope I can make it just a tiny little bit better. Like I said, I do read all your comments. Well, let's go ahead and jump into film theory Hazbin Hotel. There is no redemption. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see where he was right and where he was wrong. I know something's changed.
Right? I mean, in one episode,
there shouldn't be any spoilers in this.
You have a killer
pilot,
premise,
but
unbelievable animation, sharp writing, catchy musical numbers.
I've only seen episode 1 and 2. Hopefully,
in just
we
30
have
minutes,
recorded 3 or 4 by now.
Has more content than whole seasons of other shows. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's
does he not like
theory,
Big Bang Theory? I don't either.
Things off with a mini theory. Ready for this? In the
mini
show, we're
theory.
introduced to what is currently my favorite character,
Charlie?
Alistair the Radio
dude,
Demon,
yes,
an
Alistair.
all-powerful being who, we're told, just appeared in the underworld one day.
Alistair manifested in hell, seemingly overnight.
And from there, he just
which,
wrecked
I mean, we
house,
watched episode 2,
showing
which talked a little
power
about
and control in a way
Alistair,
that no one ever had. As they describe it in the show,
Many have speculated what unimaginable force enabled him to rival our world's most ancient and
just out of
destructive
nowhere.
well,
there's
friends,
Box.
my mini theory is that Alistair the Radio Demon gets his powers from none other than Gravity Falls' own Bill
Hey, it's
Cipher.
me.
Now, let me be perfectly clear on this. I know
Death
this
Battle.
isn't true, but the similarities between the two characters
Bill
are
Cipher, which I
uncanny.
learned about
I mean,
in Death
Alistair's
Battle, which is on my
microphone
channel. You can
is
check that out.
alive. It also has that one-eyed thing going for it, just like everyone's favorite equilateral lad, Bill. Both Bill and
Yeah, no, I
Alistair
was
tricky into
referencing
making
Death Battle
deals that
as
you're
the
gonna
real
go on to
name
regret.
for
Both
Bill Cipher.
ominously glow when they're making said deals, and the deals of both are seemingly sealed with a handshake. Both are closely
that's just all of the
with
underworld.
mysterious runic symbols that fly in and around them. Both also
Oh.
seem motivated by the same thing: boredom and a large desire to use their powers to create chaos for really no good
Yeah.
reason. But
We
all
love
of that's
that.
superficial, right? It's all typical deal with the devil business.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
the
mean, I'm
whole
watching
Radio
Jujutsu Kaisen
Demon
right
thing
now.
that gets me. Alistair's voice in Hazbin Hotel sounds like an old-timey radio, which is cool. It's very
Is that what
creative
Bill Cipher?
characterization, but it also just feels random. Too random. They even show an example of the types
it's a
of
radio
radios that he
voice.
broadcasts on, and they're the type that are pulled straight out of the late 30s and early 40s. Now, why would I care about that? Well, Bill Cipher is most closely associated with one particular song, We'll Meet Again, a love song that was made popular by the singer Vera Lynn. It's a great song, all-time classic. But why I bring it up here is that it was first
Maybe I
made
know it.
famous during World War II, which, wouldn't you know it, just so happened
Mid-40s.
to be during the late 30s and early 40s, the exact time that Alistair's
yeah.
voice is drawn from.
American
The
didn't get
timeline
until
matches up. So
42.
could it be that the reason Alistair is so powerful when he first enters the underworld is that he has the powers of Bill Cipher on his side? Probably not. Probably just inspiration the creator of the series got from
Viv.
Gravity Falls. Still,
That
it's my
Viv?
personal headcanon for now. But hey,
Bill Cipher,
that's
the flying
just
Dorito.
a theory. A film
Yeah,
theory.
I still can't believe I was referencing
And
Death
look, the
Battle.
episode
That's
hasn't
wild
even
to me.
started yet. Hello, Internet. Welcome to
Oh, that's cool
Film
with the logo.
Theory, where we'll meet again. Do know where, do know when. It'll be 1 week from today when we have another upload, hence why you should subscribe in the next 5 seconds. By the way, while you're down there crucifying the
If you want to
subscribe
check out me and
button, leave a
Kirby's
comment.
reaction
Are you
episode
a
1, it's linked down
Gravity
below in the
Falls
description.
fan? And if you are, who is your favorite character?
You can
Just
also see
curious
me
if that
react
whole
to Bill
mini
Cipher
theory at the
versus
top of the episode
Discord
went over
in
everyone's
Death
head.
Battle.
It'd be pretty awesome to see Bill show up somewhere else one of these days.
That would
Something
be-
tells me not a show where one of the main characters is named after a drug. Then again, he did show up in I believe, an official Rick and Morty short, didn't he? So
oh wow,
stranger
a
things
short.
have happened. Anyway, you know what they say, the devil's in the
Stranger
details.
Things?
That's not the only place he is.
WandaVision, get out of this theory. You're done. You are done.
What?
We've dedicated enough theories to you. Get out of here. Anyway, today we're going to be looking into
huh?
a project that a lot of
I'm
you
not
have been
cultured
asking me to do
enough.
for quite some time. Hazbin Hotel. This dark and very adult comedy aired its pilot episode on YouTube back
Aren't there
in
like people
October
trying to cancel it?
2019, before eventually being picked up to become a full-run show in August of
A24,
2020. So I
and
was kind of holding off until we heard
This
about
is
a release
before
date or
we
more
knew
news,
that was
but
going to be on
sadly,
Prime.
There's been nothing since. Hopefully we'll find out more soon because
It's
there
kind
are
of
all
pandemic and
kinds of
everything.
juicy, weird things going on in this world that I want to go theory sicko mode on, but can't because there's only one episode and 2 short web comics. I would have just left it alone, but
I didn't know they made
after
those.
Hazbin's sister series, heck of a boss,
It's
included
good.
freaky animatronics.
It's
I
good.
knew it was my time. Creepy animatronics, not gonna brag.
Nah,
but,
I did all
they're
the
kinda
FNAF
my
film
bat
or
signal.
FNAF
So we'll save the juicy
game
lore
theories.
mysteries for when there's, you know, a
I'm doing
bit
the
more
Minecraft theories
lore
right
in
now.
the series
That
to
video went
analyze.
live
Instead,
yesterday.
what I want to focus on today is the core premise behind the show. The main conceit of Hazbin Hotel is that there's limited room in Hades for souls, and the place is currently full to the brim, resulting in an annual purge event they call the Cleanse.
Which
We
kind of
lost
changes
so
a little
many
bit.
souls, and it breaks my heart to see my people being slaughtered every year.
Our protagonist Charlie.
Wow, that's
Princess
really
of
what the
Heck,
pilot
hopes that
looks
as
like?
An alternative to cleansing each
Wow.
year, she can
I
instead
mean,
run a hotel
it
that
doesn't look
rehabilitates
too much
wayward
different,
souls
but
so they get sent off to the good place.
show
where
itself, I
obviously
think,
they'll
looks
meet
a little
Ted
better.
Danson and eat froyo.
So, I've been thinking, isn't there a more humane way to hinder overpopulation here in Hell? Perhaps we can create an alternative way to change souls.
That was like an early motto of Blitz, wasn't it?
Redemption?
And despite the fact that pretty much every character doubts that she can do it, well, gosh darn it, her and her ragtag band are gonna try. And of course,
And
some
Alistair's
plenty
just
of
doing it
musical
for
numbers
chaos.
along the way. But the question I want to know, what I need to solve as we wait for any news about this series, is what she has to do to make a difference. Like, if her goal is to replace the Cleanse by rehabilitating enough souls to clear out room and hack,
I don't
how
know if
many
that's
souls
even
are we
what the
talking
plot of
about?
the show is gonna
How
be.
big does this hotel have
I
to
guess
be?
maybe.
Just how outlandish are Charlie's
purge being
plans?
every 6
Long
months.
story short, when the population of Hades is bursting, what is it gonna take to reach an equilibrium?
Perfectly balanced.
As all things should
All
be.
things.
Thanos.
That's right, theorists. Today we're pulling a classic reverse Thanos by balancing the population, except this time everyone's already dead. So let's start by outlining
just
this
double the
crazy
resources?
universe.
No.
Between the 2 shows helmed by creator Vivziepop, we've been told a lot about the machinations of this underworld. We learned from the opening song of Hell of a Boss Episode 2 that there are 7
Episode
rings in Heck,
Oh.
similar to the layout of Dante's Inferno, -2.
Which I'm not really familiar with at all. What if there are 2? What if that's like DLC for later? Dude, that song. No, Stalis.
There might have been
Yeah.
9 at
And then
one
what,
point,
Look My
as the
Way?
9 circles are referenced in the pilot
Also
episode Hazbin.
phenomenal.
What in the 9 circles makes you think a single denizen of hell would give 2 about becoming a better person?
But since then, apparently, it's collapsed
Yeah.
back down to 7, with each being named
I like how
after
he's
one of the
censoring
7
it,
deadly
since
sins. However,
my
despite
episode
there
1
being
got
a bunch of
demonetized
ringed
for that
layers,
very reason.
Attack on Titan style,
Attack
only the
on
top
Titan.
ring,
Oh, I'm
the
never gonna
pride
recover.
ring matters for our calculations today. You see, according to this official post on Twitter, quote,
What's
dead
Twitter?
sinners can only exist on the top ring, Pride. Other rings house native-born demons, and human souls aren't allowed to travel between the
Oh.
rings. Oh, and
Pride the
Canadians
biggest?
are kept elsewhere because of reasons.
There's a town for the Canadians in Hell. It's just little Canada.
The
It's
Canadian part of Hell is just called Heck.
Don't you love it when lore is made up on the fly during a live stream? Now,
Does that
as I
actually
mentioned
become
earlier,
canon,
because
though?
space and Heck is so limited, each year exorcists sent from heaven are tasked with wiping out enough souls to make room for next year's sinners. And maybe that'll be fodder
Like
for a
they
new
kept a
theory
lot
after we
of
get some more
the character
episodes.
design.
Would that make me double dead?
So, how many souls is Charlie gonna have to redeem each year to keep the population in
A
the
lot.
necropolis from swelling
How many
too
problems
high?
you got? A
Well,
lot.
funny enough, the problem is a bit simpler than it might first appear.
How?
We actually don't need to know the size of Pentagram City, or the Pride Ring, or do things like we did during our Attack on Titan theory where we measured ring population density and all that. Because
Oh,
this
I should
time
react
we
to
are
that
told
video now that I've
explicitly
seen
the
all of
city
Attack
is
on
at
Titan.
capacity, and that the yearly cleansing is to knock that number back down. That means means we only need to be focused on the rate of new souls entering their
Really wondering what the
unhappy
actual
afterlives.
purpose
If
is.
at the end of the year the underworld is winding up at capacity, well, Charlie would need to redeem as many souls as would wind up down there in order to maintain an equilibrium. And the good
But
news for
that'd be a
Charlie is that the
lot.
rate of souls going into the afterlife is starting to stabilize. The
Why
past
would it
150
stabilize?
years or so has been absolutely wild for the growth of the human population.
Yeah, but
In
recently
1900,
it's
there were about
still growing.
1.6 billion people on planet Earth.
That's-
and just
wow,
100
that's it?
years later, in the year 2000, that number had reached 6 billion. Fast forward another 20 years to today, and
It's
we're
like-
at 7.8 billion
Yeah.
people. Luckily, for everyone and everything on planet Earth, that number is no longer increasing at anywhere near the same rate it was back then. Humanity's
wonder
growth
why.
rate is slowing. And for more on why that's happening, you can actually check out our classic episode
Thanos
about
is
why
right.
Thanos' plan in Infinity War isn't as crazy as it might initially sound. Long story
God,
short,
I remember the
people are
subreddit Thanos
investing
did nothing
more time
wrong.
with their
They're
children,
like,
and
yes,
thus
we're gonna ban
having
half the
fewer of
people.
them, causing the population
And
to
then
overall
that
level out.
subreddit exploded.
Sociologists have made various estimates about where the population will eventually max out, but reasonable guesses put the total somewhere between 10 and 12 billion people. Certainly
That's
a lot,
not
but
that
also
far
not super
away.
far off
Yeah.
from where we are right now. The death rate is also constantly fluctuating, but has, in general, been falling for the past century. In fact, it's thought that the death rate actually bottomed out in 2018. Projections made by the United Nations already estimate that death
that
rates
true?
will begin rising again over the next few decades, as the population
What?
begins to age and as demographic shifts towards poorer countries
Oh,
put a
yeah.
larger share of the population
And
in
like, what, baby
situations
boomers
with
as
worse
well, getting
medical
older?
conditions. But 2018's global death rate was 7.546 deaths for every 1,000 people. With a global population of
not
7.58
bad.
billion in 2018, that would mean that roughly 57.2
Oh,
million
really?
people
That's it?
died in that single year. But of course, not
Out
all
of,
of those
you know,
people
7
are going
billion,
down
that's-
below,
yeah.
if you know what I mean. Only the sinners are. Now, in the show, we see depictions of all sorts of sinful activities. Everything from
So we gonna
murder
try to figure out what
the usage of
religion this is
illicit
based off of?
substances. So one way to solve our problem would be to take that group of 57 million deaths and figure out what percent of them have engaged in one or multiple of the
wow.
damning activities that we see happening in and around Pentagram City. According to data from the 2016 World Drug Report, there were 247 million illicit substance users worldwide in that year alone.
What
which
definition
is roughly 3%
are you
of the
using
global
exactly?
population.
That's
And when I
wild.
say they're using the stuff, I mean that they're using the hard stuff. The stuff I can't say on YouTube for fear of this video
Oh.
getting even more risk of demonetization
Yeah.
than it already has. So right off the bat, that 3% translates to 1.7 million people sent to the deep depths below off
A
of
year.
drug use alone. Homicides are thankfully significantly less. With an average
Yeah.
of 7 homicides for every 100,000
Okay.
people globally, if
I
we
wonder
assume
how that
each
number's
one of those
looking
homicides
now.
is being committed by a separate person, which obviously isn't true, but is going to give us our worst case scenario, that adds another 530,000 new additions to our
Okay.
hotel guest
So what, we're
list.
at 5
That
or
number is
2.2?
very concerning when you think about what it represents. The number
Yeah.
of murderers on this planet is too darn high.
Well, I mean,
For other
you got
violent crimes, the
billions of
average is
people,
actually
dude.
a bit higher, 12.7 per 100,000 people globally, boosting us by another 962,660
We're 3 million now.
souls. So, after the substances and horrific violence
Yeah.
section of our program today, we're walking around with a pretty sizable hotel already. 3.2
Just
million
to each
souls.
equilibrium.
All needing to
Also,
be
that's the
redeemed
same
if
soul
Heck is
thing they
gonna
use
maintain
in
some level of
the
population
FNAF game theory
equilibrium.
videos.
Eat your heart out, Paris Hilton. Princess Charlie has got your hotel chain beasted. See, that joke's relevant
Wait, she
because
actually-
Paris Hilton is super famous for being rich and having a bunch of hotel barons in her family. But the joke
Oh,
isn't
does she
all
actually
that
own
far
Hilton
from
hotels?
reality.
Or
As of
part of?
last year, Marriott Hotels is the world's #1 hotel chain with nearly
I don't know if I've ever stayed in a
1.4
Marriott.
million rooms available
That's
for their
wild.
guests worldwide. Charlie's Happy Hotel already needs more than double that amount. And we are still not done counting sins, my friends, because it's this last one where the numbers
But
really
you can
start to
split it out across
skyrocket.
days.
Infidelity, cheating in relationships. Now, while I'm not
There's no
promoting
statistics
religion
for
here
that.
or anything, and we all know that different religions can have some major differences, one thing that they
True.
all tend to agree on is that you're not supposed to be, you know, coveting your neighbor's wife and all that. But despite
I don't
those
think that's a
warnings,
Ten
humanity
Commandment.
certainly seems to be doing a lot of coveting these days. According to an exhaustive review of research done on committed relationships published back in 2005,
2005?
40% of
It's way
unmarried
worse now.
relationships and 25% of marriages see at least one incident of infidelity. Another survey
Wow.
roughly backs this up. 20% of men and 13% 40% of women admit to having
And
a
that's
fling with someone
2021.
other than their spouse while married. So
While
I'm gonna
married?
split the difference here and say that, I don't know, roughly 30% of people are skeezballs who have cheated at some point in their life. Y'all suck. As someone who has cheated on in the past, I hope the radio demon eats your heads off. And it looks like he's gonna have plenty to feast on because that suddenly jumps us up.
That's a
by,
lot of
get
people.
This, another 17.3
That's so we're over 20 million
sinners,
people.
sending our grand total to 20.5 million new sinner denizens
year.
of Pentagram City
A
waiting
year.
to get purged each and
Divine-
every year, requiring
Well, maybe
the
time
single
works
biggest
differently.
rehabilitation initiative you could ever need. Might want to consider getting more help for that front desk there, Charlie. Now, obviously, a lot of these people might be overlapping in their sins,
Thanks,
right?
Cersei.
Not all of these are mutually exclusive to each other. So maybe I'm going about this all
Ah,
wrong.
true,
Maybe
yeah,
this
maybe
isn't
it's
about
a
me
little
judging
less-
other people based on their sin totals. Maybe the difference between heaven and heck is like those stupid
he
reviews
supposed to
that
be
you
like
have to do
Peter
at your
there?
job. A self-review. Assess yourself for how well you're doing at your job. I mean, why is this a thing? Like, this drove me nuts when I was working in an office environment. And even today,
How
working
good
on
are you
YouTube,
at your
yes,
job?
thank you, I'm doing fantastic. Look, today alone, I dredged up stats about infidelity and illegal usage of mind-altering substances. I am crushing it. How was your day? But seriously, guys, some of you missed the memo about always giving yourself a good review, because when people were asked to self-report about whether they would
self-report
go
it?
to heaven or to the other place, 10% of people said that they were definitely going to the bad place. No ifs, ands, or buts
They just
about it.
accept
Another
that.
42% said that they weren't sure. And if they're not
What?
sure, well, pretty sure St. Peter at the pearly
Aha,
gates
it
is
is
gonna be
Peter.
giving you the benefit of the
Wow.
doubt. By those
I'm
numbers, that
actually impressed
20.5
with
million
myself.
souls was an understatement. Now we're talking closer to the range of 30 million. Hold on, though. What about friends rating their friends? Well, when asked, 72% Americans who believe in heaven rate their chances of going to heaven to be good or excellent.
Okay.
All right, doing a little bit better on that one, America.
Yeah.
But they also turned around and said that 1 in 4 of their friends would absolutely go to H-double hockey sticks. Way to throw your friends under the bus there, guys.
Under
In short,
something.
any way you're calculating this, there is no way that Charlie's Hotel accomplishes
So-
its true mission in under 14 million souls. Oh, sure, she can save a few wayward souls here and a few demons
But maybe
there,
she
but
could
if
just
she's
inspire
truly
change
looking
and
to
have a
break
butterfly
even,
effect.
14
Maybe start a-
million is the minimal
maybe start a chain
calculation
of
based
Hazbin
on all the
hotels.
different methods that we just tried. And there's
Maybe she's
someone
gonna
else working
franchise it.
against her in this whole process too. The real twist hiding at the end of both of these shows is that the Immediate Murder Patrol, IMP Imp, the organization that we follow in the
Immediate Murder
sister show
Patrol?
Hell of a
What?
Boss, is gonna
That's
be
what it's
working
called.
directly against Charlie and her goals. The Imp is powered by a grimoire that they stole from a demon named Solace. In his very first appearance, Solace asks the Imp team to kill someone who's spreading the truth about global warming, hoping to increase that death rate we were talking about earlier.
He's trying to convince people global warming exists.
Doesn't it?
Well, yes, but more people die if nothing is done about it.
Solace is specifically
Yeah?
trying to increase the population of souls despite
But does
already
that would make
existing
him more
overcrowding. It's almost
powerful,
like the two
wouldn't
shows
he?
are working directly against each other. One is about
Well,
souls
maybe
getting
it's a position
out
of
heck,
power.
the other is about souls getting in. So will Charlie manage to create a system
Because
that's capable of
Charlie's
saving
good.
some 14
Not saying
million
Solace
people
bad,
or more
but, like,
a year? Or will the native demon's plans
she'd look at things
ultimately
differently.
stop her? It's honestly a fascinating dichotomy because the two shows are so clearly poised to clash against each other. Either side could
They
end up
exist
the
in the same
victor. And while
universe.
Charlie may seem the more traditional protagonist to end up winning the day, these shows are anything but traditional. So I guess we'll just have to wait to see what creator Vivzy
I wonder if
has
they
in
can
store
actually,
for us
like,
when the full show
have Hell of a Boss
eventually
in
drops.
Hazbin
But
Hotel.
until
I
then,
wonder.
it's all just a
Is there good
theory.
behavior?
A film
Jambalaya?
theory. And before you check out for
What?
the week, let's give a big thank you to today's sponsor,
Which
the
is-
world's premier streaming service
if
for
it's
horror,
muted,
thriller, and
it's
supernatural content,
because of
Shudder.
YouTube's
Much like
copyright
Hazbin Hotel,
system,
Shudder
okay?
is filled with countless
The
dead souls
music
of
has
the
not
most
changed,
despicable
thankfully,
variety.
so-
Gotta admit, Charlie would have one heck of a time trying
that's
to redeem
Freddy
some of these
Krueger,
guys. But hey, that's
Jason,
what
I
makes
don't know
horror
who's in
films
the
so
middle.
great, right? The worse the villain, the more exciting the movie. And with Shudder, you get access to all the most exciting horror, supernatural, and thriller movies out there.
I'm
the
so good.
largest
I-
collection
no,
of
me
acclaimed
and-
horror movies and series streamed right to your favorite devices.
These
for
are all
just
movies I've never heard of.
$5.99 a month. We're talking access to
It's
their
something
unique
Jackie would
collection of
watch, though, for
exclusive
sure,
and
because she
original
loves scary
films,
movies.
series, and classics, all ad-free.
I watched
And new
Hereditary,
titles are
and that
being
was-
added
that was
weekly.
something.
Both old classics like the Nicolas Cage cult movie Vampire's Kiss from
Never heard of it.
1989, and new
89?
favorites such as the Golden Globe-nominated film for Best Foreign Language Film La Llorona. Both
Never
which
heard of
we
it.
watched last month. Vampire's Kiss was actually my choice for Valentine's Day date night,
Ah,
and
well.
I may may or may not have been misled by the title.
This
Steph, on
video
the
is
other
going
hand,
live
chose
on
La
the
Llorona for us to
15th.
watch last week because she had heard such good things. One of us clearly has more refined taste. If you're not familiar with it, La Llorona blends together the terror of both myth and reality into a devastating expose of the genocidal atrocities against the Mayan community in Guatemala. It won Best Film at the 2019 Venice Film Festival and was an official selection to Sundance
not
2020.
odd, but it's
it is
just
not a
unique.
light-hearted
It's a
rub
unique
through
plot.
the roses,
I would not
my
have
friends,
thought of.
but I can say
Never
that
would have
it
guessed
is
that.
a great movie that I highly recommend you check out when you're in the right mood for that sort of thing. Let me just say, we did not choose
Sometimes
to
they
watch that
play
one on Valentine's
copyrighted
Day,
songs
probably a
in the
good
background
decision.
of ad
Anyway, that's just a
reads,
small selection of what
and
Shudder has
then
to
they don't
offer,
get
so go and take a
copyrighted
look for
until
yourself.
the
I am
moment the
positive
video
that
goes
there's
live.
going to be a bunch on there
This
that
is,
you're going to absolutely love. All you
18
need to
minutes
do to
into the
try
video,
Shudder for
but 3
free
minutes
for
after the
30
video goes
days
live,
is go to
it'll have copyright
shudder.com.
issues.
That's
Like, how's that possible?
SHUDDDER, as in, ooh, I've got a cold chill down my back, Shudder, not, ooh, I'm going to shut the windows with my shutters. And then make sure you use the promo code
those have
FILMTHEORY
T's.
on your way out. That's FILMTHEORY, Film Theory. You will not be disappointed. You will be shaken and a little bit scared. Perhaps you will have peed yourself a little bit, but you will not be disappointed. Honestly, after watching Shudder for the past few months, I've had to add a few more lights to my recording closet. Fun fact, I used to record all my audio just from the light of my phone screen. Yeah, not anymore.
Wow.
Thanks a lot for that one, Shudder. We're talking tanning bed levels of illumination
That's
happening
way
in here.
too much
Anyway,
light.
go check it out. Only $5.99 a month for countless hours of horror. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go check out yet another Nicolas Cage movie for an upcoming theory. And in the meantime, I'll see you all next week.
Okay. So, Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, which apparently is a big deal, but this was the film theory on Hazbin Hotel. I really feel like he focused a lot on the number, and I feel like that's not where the story of Hazbin Hotel was going to go, but that's all we had to go off back then. So, do be kind in that, because this video is 2 years old, and all we had was the pilot to go off, and a couple episodes of Helva Boss, and you know, the comics and stuff like that, and stuff that Viv said in streams and whatnot. So do be kind to him in that fate, but in that fact. But like, I don't really think the show is going to focus too much on the rehabilitation, like, of the hotel, the physical hotel location. I feel like it's gonna be more about that. But like I said, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, I will have recorded the 3rd and maybe 4th, and hopefully the second video or the second episode will have gone live on the channel. So definitely be on the lookout for that. There's a playlist on my channel with all of the Hazbin Hotel and Helva Boss reactions going in chronological order of when I did them, and a couple songs thrown in there as well. But yeah, I really look forward to watching more of Hazbin Hotel. I loved episode 2 so much. I'm just all the copyright issues and editing that I have to do for that video, but I look forward to watching more of this. No spoilers. Obviously, I have moderators that'll be checking the comment section, so do be courteous to other people that haven't seen it, including myself, that hasn't seen the full season. I don't know if the full season's out yet or not, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you back for another one, but until then, take care and keep the music.
We were